The Minnesota Air National Guard, flying high after 100 years. Beginning with biplanes in 1921, transitioning through a variety of aircraft across the generations, and still soaring with the military's most rugged tactical airlift planes today. The men and women of the 133rd Airlift Wing look forward to the next 100 years of service. Minnesota National Guard aviation ignited in 1920 when Lieutenant Ray Miller, a recently discharged World War I Army Air Corps pilot, flew a rented biplane to Washington, D.C. with two other Minnesota military leaders. On January 1921, the Minnesota Observation Squadron received federal recognition, the first in the nation. The 109th Observation Squadron first flew Curtis Jennings out of Speedway Field near Fort Snelling. Additional biplanes soon came from the Army Air Corps, and the unit began flying out of Holman Field near downtown St. Paul. The unit's first missions supported ground troops with reconnaissance. The airmen trained in places like Camp Ripley in central Minnesota during the years between the World Wars. They also served the state by searching for lost people and tracking forest fires, a tradition of humanitarian service that continues to this day. Nurses joined the unit in the 1930s. The 1930s became a transformative period, allowing the unit to prepare for the unexpected, another World War. In 1941, at the dawn of World War II, the airmen responded to the nation's call to patrol the U.S. East Coast. Following that mission, they deployed to Europe, flying a variety of aircraft, including British Spitfires and the photo reconnaissance version of the P-51 Mustang. Planes and pilots, with ground crew support, participated in many important missions, such as Operation Crossbow, taking out German rocket launching platforms. In the weeks leading up to D-Day, May 1944, the 109th flew a record 278 reconnaissance missions along the French coastline. On D-Day, 5 pilots from the 109th were shot down as the invasion commenced. As Allied forces advanced further inland, the 109th led the way, playing a vital role in the victory. The 109th Tactical Reconnaissance Squadron flew 1,680 combat missions during the war. Along with a unit citation, members were awarded numerous medals. After World War II, the unit transitioned through different fighter interceptor aircraft, including the F-51 Mustang. During the Korean War, the shortage of fighter aircraft in the active duty required the 109th to transfer planes, allowing active duty pilots adequate wartime replacements. In 1951, given replacement aircraft, the Defense Department activated the unit for the Korean War. Fortunately, the majority of airmen activated had participated in World War II and required only refresher training. Following the Korean activation, rumors of the more capable jet aircraft freely flowed through the 109th. Finally, in 1957, the F-94 Starfire jet fighters arrived. Unfortunately, the new fighters could not operate from Holman Field, which left the unit ferrying aircraft to Volk and Duluth. Fortunately, the active duty Air Force Base at Wold Chamberlain Field was deactivated, providing a new location, and the advanced F-89 Scorpion jet fighters, firmly placing the 109th in the jet age. The unit settled into their base at the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport, where operations continue through today. In the 1960s, the unit transitioned to the current air transport mission. The fighter jets were replaced by Boeing C-97 Stratofreighter aircraft. This gave the 109th and the 133rd Airlift Wing the capability to deploy anywhere in the world, delivering military cargo and people as needed. It provided opportunities for humanitarian airlift, such as in 1965, when they flew to Vietnam as part of Operation Christmas Star. Although not called to active duty for the Vietnam War, Minnesota Air Guard members fulfilled vital roles, making possible the heavy commitment of active forces there. The Minnesota Air Guard began a regular schedule of cargo flights to Southeast Asia. These were in addition to the regular flights to Europe and the Caribbean. As the airlift mission grew, the 109th received C-130 Hercules tactical airlift aircraft in the early 1970s. It was a period of training, growth, recognition, and awareness. The Cold War requirements began to stretch the limits of the strategic reserve. When Iraq invaded Kuwait in 1990, members of the 133rd Airlift Wing were among the first to volunteer for active duty in Operations Desert Shield and Desert Storm. These men and women, some of whom were deemed critical and activated, served with distinction. Through this period, the active duty Air Force realized they depended on the Guard and Reserve for mission success. The realization resulted in the birth of the Total Force. In 1996, the unit received brand new, right from the factory, C-130H-3 models. The 1990s are another transformative period, providing fresh aircraft, training, and structure to prepare for the unthinkable, another attack on American soil. On September 11, 2001, one of the unit's C-130s was flying home from Washington, D.C. when it became part of the story of that infamous day. The air crew witnessed a civilian airliner crash into the Pentagon and saw the smoke from the airliner that went down in rural Pennsylvania. Thus began the global war on terrorism, and the 133rd Airlift Wing's airmen and aircraft flew to the fight in Southwest Asia almost immediately. From 2002 until the present day, hundreds of airmen from all units of the 133rd Airlift Wing have deployed to Afghanistan, Iraq, and across the entire region. They directly support combat operations and whatever else is needed to help bring freedom and peace to a troubled portion of the world. The 8 C-130H Hercules tactical aircraft are workhorses in delivering troops and supplies to austere locations around the globe. The Hercules also enables the men and women of the 133rd Airlift Wing to provide humanitarian relief at home and abroad. Whatever the next 100 years holds, the Minnesota Air National Guard stands firmly on a solid century of service and stands ready for the next mission.